We are live, baby. Yes, sir. Let me get this link going. Where did I put that Twitter link? Sorry. All right. Let me know in chat if whoever's viewing. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm gonna talk first. I gotta just make sure Twitter going, and should be good after that. So I have the stats pulled up. I was looking at it while I was finding a new place to go. Get started in just a second. All right, well, sorry. Felt necessary, but wow, that's even worse. Okay, still rocking the Terrence Mann jersey, but wow, that was a game. Chat, I would love to hear about what you guys thought, but I'm just going to start right now. So 116 for the Suns, 113 for the Clippers, overtime. That was a horrid, just my first thought, that was a horrid second quarter. Even first half, 39 points at halftime, I believe it was. What was Harden shooting at half? Let's see what that is, because he shot 10 for 28, which I love the volume. 2 for 9 from 3. He was jacking a little bit, but hey, what can we do about it? Harden first half. It was a game. First half stats. No, I'll see it on Twitter or something. I know, I think Jimmy tweeted it. So let me go look. Keep going in a second, but this is something that I really think is going to interest me. Because between it was really Zoo and Harden who had awful first halves. By the way, it's 1:30 here on the East Coast. So probably go till 2. Take answers in the chat. I gotta find this Harden thing. It's gonna bug me. Because third quarter he turned up. I remember he had 20 points at the end of the third. He was 20 points at the end of the third, and he was sitting at. So that means he had 4 at half. I don't know how badly he shot, but to put in just the Harden part, the first half he was jacking too much, and really where he found his stride was in the third quarter when he got to his mid-range shot. Oh, the free throw at the end, I just had a gut feeling. That was the Clippers' way to lose. Have a great first game at home, have like the crowd's all into it, and of course we had to lose on what I thought was the most sure thing in a James Harden free throw. 7 for 9 on the day. I know he had 8 boards at half, 12 total today. So he had 8 at half, and he was energetic. His defense looked solid. On the other side, Kevin Durant, 25. KD's fade away in the fourth. That was something. Book had a really bad game. I just think he wasn't aggressive. 5 for 9 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, 15 points. Fouled out, too. The rest, too. I need to go look at the free throws. So 34 free throws for the Suns, 30 for us. So not as bad as I thought, but still, Terrence Mann fouled out on some bad calls. The Nurkic one was big in my opinion. When Nurkic came down, hit Terrence, and they called a foul on Terrence. That one was pretty bad. Coffee foul at the end, that was just a bad play by Coffee. And I'm gonna give Coffee his flowers. We needed him. I really have been on that Jordan Miller hype train. I know Clip K74 is up in here. He knows that. He knows how much I love Jordan Miller because I'm not usually a young guy. But he's I'm not really a young guy, like, we have to play our youth type of guy, but the potential I see from him is crazy. So I've been saying all off season, all week, like in the most recent Fresh episode, I talked about it. But it's really just a matter of coffee. We know what we're going to get out of him. But today, that 4 for 4, 11 points, 2 for 2 from three, it was all in one stretch. So for me, at least, I don't understand. Ty Lue consistently does this, playing him in the fourth quarter when he shouldn't be playing. But whatever. We have Chris Dunn, who's our best defensive player, in my opinion, sitting on our bench in clutch time and overtime when we need stops. What was the reasoning behind having Norm in the game in the fourth with 3 minutes left when we were up a good amount? That's what I want to know. I see Clip K said if Harden hit that game winning layup that could have iced it, we'd be pumped. I agree. And I'm still pumped. I think a big thing today was that our I didn't think we were going to be this competitive, honestly. I thought, like I predicted in the predictions, that we would win today. I don't know how much I believe that one, but like to go down by the amount we did in the third quarter and come back, slowly bring our way back, especially with 39 points at the end of the second half, first half. That just shows how tired I am. I'm really impressed by it, and KPJ, like that's another guy who it was annoying watching him, but I also said, like, he has to readjust. He does, though, have some terrible shot selection. Some of the contested threes he was taking, he's 0 for 4 on the day. It's just like, why are you shooting that? Don't get me started on the Harden threes at the end of the game either. Okay, let's get a little more positive, though. I loved what I saw out of Kai Jones today. I've been like, I really wasn't high on him going into this whole preseason. Preseason, I thought that he was just an athletic dude. That's about it. But offensively, a dunk over Plumlee. That was one thing I don't think we did well enough was exploiting the lack of interior defense by the Suns. But he really showed Plumlee. He really showed me how horrible Plumlee is defensively. Though I did already know that. But that was big. I think the 6 points for Kai. Like I don't think his stats really showed the impact he had today. 6 points, 4 rebounds, no blocks, no steals, but he was contesting shots. He was making life difficult. And honestly, the two offensive boards, those were big because one was the putback dunk over Plumlee. One's getting the extra possession anyways. Like he really did exactly what we needed out of a backup center. And it sucks because when Zoo was in foul trouble, I thought we were done for. But he really he came in that first quarter and made a difference. His energy is like that's something you cannot take away from the dude. He's a crazy energy player. We need guys like that. Clip said this game indicates that this Clippers team can go toe to toe with any team, in my opinion, at least at home court. We'll get the home court was big today. The wall, it really showed today, the wall, how close it truly is because it builds up, it doesn't build away. And that's something that I think is sick. Like the noise was there. But all over Twitter, all I'm seeing is, oh, they're using noise enhancers. So you're telling me we're gonna go from the Clippers don't have fans to now we use noise enhancers. Come on. Are we serious? When can we admit maybe the Clippers have some loyal fans? Maybe they don't have the most fans in the league, the association. Maybe they are a B team of LA, right? But they have fans, and their biggest fans are the most loyal people you will find. Shout out Darian, by the way. Dime dropper on my TV multiple times today. That was pretty cool to see. But the wall, they caused missed free throws. When have we ever seen KD miss 2 free throws in the fourth quarter? I don't think I've ever seen that. I think the wall played a big role in that. Booker was 1 for 2 from the line. Beal missed a big one. Plumlee shot 4 for 6 from the free throw line. What? The wall was noisy. The stadium was rocking, and it's clear to me how close it really is. How close the court is to our fans, interaction. Like we saw Terrence Mann getting the stadium hype when he did that in Staples. It really wasn't enough. And the big thing to me also, there were less Laker fans. Like usually when you're watching a national broadcast, you see the Laker fans who make their way. On Twitter, I saw one total Laker fan throughout. And that's something, wow. Like we're in LA, everyone's a Laker fan, but something that I did not expect at all. I thought there would still be the Laker fans who were petty, came to our new stadium, wanted to show it's our stadium because we run LA. Yeah, but we didn't see that, which is kind of cool. Terrence really today, like just continuing to try to speak on the positives. Well, one, I think our defense is awesome. I think the only guys on the team who I don't think can defend are Harden and KPJ. And Harden, we know how he is. He just doesn't try a lot of the time. He needs to be focusing on offense because we don't win this game with that. We are not even in this game without his explosion. 16 points in the fourth, third, took over completely. He finished with 29, so that means he had 25 in the second half. Wow. But Terrence, that's what I was saying here. His defense was good. His effort was there. And he was being more aggressive. That's something that we truly need from him is he needs to look to attack a little more. Those 4 assists were all on driving kicks or maybe pump fake, get the extra pass, something. I'm still mad about that one play. Harden got an offensive board. Terrence was wide open for a solid 4 seconds, and it became Harden ball. That's something that I'm fearful of. Harden ball is not something that I am a fan of. He played awesome today. His shot selection's still a little iffy. I'd love how I'm going back to Harden, but he is our best player right now, and I'm trying my very hardest to root for him. His shot selection's iffy. He gets too reliant on the 3-point shot, and when he truly got a rhythm was when he got to that in-between game, the floats, the mid-ranges. It's awesome. And the dribble happiness really wasn't there today. I thought it was gonna be worse. Harden, just my last thing on him, 29 points, 12 boards, 8 assists, but the 8 turnovers was horrible. And the last one going through his hands, I watched the replay like 3 times. It was a solid pass by Derrick Jones. I don't know what happened there, but whatever. Let's see what I get texted. Sorry. Yeah, Chris Dunn was awesome defensively. Batum, like his stats don't look good. 2 points on 2 free throws. 2 points on 2 free throws, 2 boards, 2 assists, a steal. But he was all over the place defensively, and his physicality was huge. That's another thing with this Clippers team. They are all physical. Terrence Mann fouled out, of course. Zubats fouled out, of course, on some BS plays, but they were physical. And I like the physicality. I like picking up the Bookers full court, KDs, putting pressure on them. Something I'm looking forward to. I said in my preseason build-up episode, the only way the Clippers can succeed without Kawhi Leonard is making a name for themselves on the defensive end. And guess what? I truly think that they did that today. They showed the physicality they're going to play with. They showed that they can switch 1 through 5. Clip said Inglewood going to gradually turn into a pro Clipper neighborhood with the way how the fans showed up. Facts, and that's something that a lot of people probably won't point to, but I do think they did a great job of putting it in a place where it's away from a lot of the Laker fans. And it's also like Clippers basketball, we still have big names. We have the James Harden, we have Kawhi Leonard when he plays. I think we really are on the come up, and Steve Ballmer puts so much into us that it's coming. Our big fan base is coming, and I'm very excited for it. Let's talk Zoo 21, 9, 3 turnovers, but no blocks today, which is something that I find really weird. Zoo is still our defensive anchor. He makes shots harder. But the no blocks is interesting. We had 1 block between our whole team, and it was Norm Powell. I don't even remember when he got that block. We shot 8 for 29 from 3. Okay, wait, let me speak on Zoo, and then we'll go back towards that. Zoo missed, like that first half, he was horrible. He was god awful. Partially because he got into foul trouble, he got taken out of rhythm by the refs. But that second half, the Zoo Harden pick and roll was filthy. Harden, because they had to come press up on Harden, they had to blitz the screen. They couldn't play drop because Harden was hitting from 3 in that third quarter. So they gotta keep that up. And then even Derrick Jones, just the attacking abuse of Nurkic in that second half. It was something that I loved because, as I said earlier, the interior defense of the Phoenix Suns is horrible. We can take advantage of that, and that's something that in the second half with the Zoo pick and roll, the Derrick Jones pick and roll got better. So we shot 8 for 29 from 3, and a lot of good looks, 27% from 3. In comparison, they shot 40%, almost 15 for 38. So it's a big swing right there. That's seven more threes by them, seven more points. It's very interesting, but I think we're going to have better shooting days. Norm Powell, 1 for 7 from three. That's a guy who shoots 40% from three every year. Harden, 2 for 9. Yes, they were some tough shots. He had the one in the fourth quarter when we were up by 6 points with almost less than 3 minutes left, where he pulled it from practically the logo. I could not stand that shot. That was terrible shot selection, and that was a force. Waste some clock. Keep working the pick and roll. And that's also at the end of the game. Why didn't we keep working the small Harden Zoo slash Derek Jones pick and roll? That's what was working. I understood they were small. Getting Zoo the ball is something that I thought the Clippers needed to do. But when James Harden was cooking, when the pick and roll was working, the interior pressure was there. Why go away from it? We'll never have the answer, but that showed me how good we can be. And honestly, Kawhi fits perfectly into this team because outside of Norm and Harden, I don't see a single shot creator. Derek Jones shot well from three today, 2 for 2, 12 points, 5 for 6 from the field. One bad missed layup, but whatever. We move on. Norm's going to shoot better on other days. He's still an elite catch and shoot guy. Nico's an elite catch and shoot guy. Coffee 2 for 2 from three. I don't know how much I trust it, but hey, we'll throw Coffee out there. Chris Dunn, I trust as a 3-point shooter. Kevin Porter will come around. Give it time. We'll see what happens with that. But Kawhi does fit in perfectly. And Harden, as long as he keeps attacking downhill, gets to the float game, gets to the in between game, he has a lot of assists because he has the shooting around him. He has the lob threats. And a big thing about the Clippers this year is they are way more athletic than they were last year. We we went from Daniel Theis and Mason Plumlee to Kai Jones. That says enough. Kai Jones, fun watch. Derek Jones, Derek Jones also freakishly athletic. His back cuts, his high IQ basketball. That's another thing that I love. I loved from Derek Jones. And we'll see what happens. Let's talk about the Suns real quick. Tyus Jones, Luca Kasab All Star, one of my favorite role players, probably my favorite actually. His impact was felt, though he shot 1 for 5 from three. But the big thing, the assist to turnover ratio is always elite with him. 8 assists to 0 turnovers, and he doesn't need to shoot the ball. Obviously, he shot 10 shots today. He was getting open looks. He got good looks from three. 4 missed. He missed 5 shots all game. 4 of them were open threes. But the big thing with that is he was getting it, swinging it early. Like we saw Beal getting a lot of catch and shoot threes. He had 3 catch and shoots in the first quarter from three. Yeah, 8 for 12 from the field, 4 for 6 from three. Bradley Beal, he looked way more comfortable today. Obviously, it's a mix of getting the mesh, the new coach, better system around him. But I will say with Bradley Beal is when you put him in a situation where he can be a catch and shoot guy and utilize that catch and shoot, it's huge for him. So let's see. Tyus Jones, big impact. Monte Morris, even 5 points, 2 assists, 2 for 5 from the field. It's a lot more shots than I thought he took, but another guy just passed first. KD, sorry. KD's defensive impact was felt though. At the end of the game, I love when star players pick up the other team's best player. And seeing KD at the end of the fourth, going into overtime, picking up Harden full court, trying to speed him up a little bit, force a mistake out of him, fatigue him. Because Harden, I was saying he did look like he was in better shape. But at the end of the game, he looked fatigued. That wasn't the best Harden I've seen. But a lot of pressure on him right now. That's the big thing. But back to Durant, like some of the shots, the pure shot making that he still has at this age, special. Over two to force overtime, the shot, a fadeaway over both Norm Powell, not Norm. Yeah, it was Norm. May not have been Norm. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Norm with Harden coming to help. I was questioning why Harden came and helped, but I thought it made the shot much tougher, and he still drilled it. Then even in overtime, the guy. Overtime, same thing, same story. Fadeaways, shots over people. I used to be a big KD guy. Then he left for the Warriors, and I became a KD hater. Sometimes I got to just sit down and realize how lucky I am to be watching Kevin Durant nightly. Be watching this guy who hezzy pulls are his thing. You have all these guys like Ingram, Wemby, trying to become him, play exactly like him. He made the hezzy mid-range pull a big thing in this modern NBA. Awesome game by KD. Nurkic is hack. I don't know how he only had 4 fouls, but Nurkic is a hack. That's all I have to say on him. And Book was a fairly quiet Book game. You know, anyone who knows me knows Book is one of my favorite players. I think he's a top 6 to 7 guy in the NBA right now, but this was just weird. 5 for 9 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, 4 boards, 6 assists, 4 turnovers, fouled out. He was a -4 plus minus, which I find really interesting, but it's just weird seeing this because Book is usually hyper aggressive, and today it really felt like he bought into KD being the one on this team. I don't know. Odd thing, but anyone in chat, if you have any questions regarding the game, let me know because I'm just talking through what I remember. Grayson Allen also felt like a not it factor. Let me see how he played. 2 for 7 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, 8 points. Not much, really. I don't remember any big play from Grayson Allen in this game. That's my big takeaway from the Suns is Grayson Allen was awesome last year, 46% from 3, I believe. He was a good shot maker, great shot creator for them, and he just did not have it today. He didn't look aggressive at all. It's just a weird Grayson Allen game. And then last guy on the Suns I want to talk about is Ryan Dunn, who another one of my labeled guys. And I think his defense was awesome, but throwing a rookie in his first game on James Harden and that's something you can't do. You have guys around him to take that job. Well, not really. He's truly probably their best defender right now. But first game in the NBA, 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. He was getting good looks. Really looked like nerves. Maybe his jumper is just not as good as I thought, as we all thought during preseason, but it's gonna come. It's the same thing as KPJ. I just think you gotta give it time because both of them haven't played in the league. While KPJ he hasn't been here in over a year. He has to adjust back to the NBA style of play, the NBA ball, those types of things. So I think KPJ will be fine. I think Ryan Dunn's gonna be fine. See, here's perfect. Clip K74, that's GG Jackson. That is my guy right there. But yes, if I think the Clippers can beat Denver on Saturday, I really want to say yes. And after tonight, I really think we can, but the resilience with this team, as you said, is huge. But my big thing is Denver lost so much depth. The amount of stress that they're putting on Christian Brown, Julian Strother, and Peyton Watson to take a jump is crazy. So I do think we match up pretty well with them. Zoo has been in the past a pretty good Jokic defender. Sorry, look at it, my hair looks horrible, but he's been a pretty good he's been a pretty good Jokic defender. So I think we do have that. Jamal Murray is a killer, but we do have the personnel to match up with them. I can see Terrence taking Jamal. I can see Derek Jr. taking Jamal, even though I think I'd reserve Derek for, I don't know, we're just so small in the backcourt that in the front court, I mean. Norm, Derek Jones, and Zoo. So Zoo's going to take Yoke, obviously. DJJ, Aaron Gordon, I guess, because we need a presence who can box that out. That's my big thing is Aaron Gordon's a type of guy who he's not obviously his 3-point shot has gotten better, his offensive game has gotten better, but he's not the type of guy who you can put a smaller guy on and expect to be okay because he crashes the board like crazy. I don't know. This is a weird matchup. I do think we'll see a lot more of Nico Batum in that game. We got 24 minutes of him today. I think we will get more of Nico Batum because we're going to need a more physical guy, bigger guy in that situation. But I don't know. I just think we have a lot of depth. This is the deepest Clippers team I've seen in a while. Bones, Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, all three of them were DNPs today. Obviously, Jordan Miller is the guy who I would throw in, but there's still depth pieces. So my big thing is if we want to beat the Nuggets, it really comes down to is one, they don't have much depth. Like Russ is cool, but how much does Russ really fit next to a Jokic and Jamal Murray because of his ball dominance and lack of 3-point shooting ability? And even more so, where is their scoring going to come from that they're losing, that they lost with KCP, even though he averaged only 9 points a game? That's 41% from three. Where are we getting that 41% from? Christian Brown's a good basketball player, but I think a step up to a starting lineup is a little crazy for him. And I don't know. I think that we can win that game, but we have to be much more efficient. James Harden has to be aggressive out of the gate, but he also has to look. He has to play smart with it too, though. Stop forcing the threes. Stop forcing contested threes. If you need to get to the step back, get to the step back, right? Get to the mid-range game early. See the ball go through the hoop. The floats are always there. Keep working the pick and roll. Put Jokic in the action. I'm excited for it, but I think it's going to be a challenge. I think that the lack of scoring we do have is going to hurt us in that game, and I think it will be pretty high scoring. If I had to predict it right now, I do not think we win that game, though. I think Denver debuts tomorrow. I'll check it right now. So I will 100% be watching that game if that's the case because I want to see what we have to deal with there. I'm waiting to check. I'm pretty sure they're tomorrow's game. We have Spurs Mavs. Yeah, Spurs Mavs on TNT, which is sick. Thunder Nuggets tomorrow on TNT. I will be watching that game. Whoever's in here, I think SGA is going to go off tomorrow. If anyone has player props. Yeah, Denver versus OKC tomorrow at 10 p.m. Well, 7 p.m. West Coast time. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be so sick. I'm really excited to see that because I want to see Russ's fit. Like, obviously, I wanted the T Wolves game yesterday. My big thing was I wanted to see how Randall fit next to Ant, just because he is a ball dominant guy. He's not a very smart basketball player. He likes the contested shots, but now we're going to see how Russ, a guy who, again, isn't very high IQ of an offensive player, how he fits with them. I'm excited. So Russ is a big thing. I want to see the leash that Mike Malone has with Russ too. I think that's going to be pretty cool to see because even in preseason, the missed lays were there, the turnovers were there, the lack of 3-point shooting was showing. These are all things that Russ had with us that was a problem in our postseason series. I want to see how a guy like Mike Malone, who doesn't have a tendency of playing young guys, so I would assume Russ is their clear sixth man. I want to see how he treats that. Really, the Rockets blew a double-digit lead to the Hornets? I saw that they won. I saw Trey Mann at 24. I saw Melo had a pretty good game. LaMelo, not Melo. I apologize. Shout out Carmelo. I'm about to go look at that box score. I really wasn't. I was so into the Clippers game that I stopped paying attention to any other game. I saw Brendan Miller got hurt too. Please let me know. Somebody let me know if that's serious. If anyone knows, I saw Musa Diabate was getting minutes. All right, let me look at this box score real quick. Yeah, Melo 34-7, 34, 8, and 11. That's sick. He needs to stay healthy though. Nick Richards, Kasab approved player right there. Nick Richards, 8 boards. I like that. It's a quiet Miles Bridges game, but let's see. Trey Mann, yeah. I don't know how many of you guys are following my TikTok, but I don't know how many of you guys follow me on TikTok, but on TikTok, I put my award predictions, and my sixth man of the year pick was Malik Monk, but I gave a shout out to Trey Mann because of his preseason, how good of a scorer he is. And tonight, 24 points, 8 for 16 from the field, 4 for 8 from three, even got 6 boards. That's a good game. Let me look at the Rockets. Ugh. How did they blow this? Because most of all their starters outside of Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet are positive. Şengün had 25, 18, 5, 4 steals and a block. How they blow? I'm gonna have to watch this game tomorrow. Reed Shepherd with a solid looking debut. I can't tell you. Rockets face my other team. Memphis gonna help the Clips out. Yes, sir. I'm really high on Houston. I don't know. I just think they're gonna develop, but, like, I'm looking at this here, it's what's it their three-point shooting? 43 three-pointers up. That's the modern NBA for you, though. I don't know. Oh, Freddie was 4 for 18, 2 for 11 from 3. I just don't the box scores really don't show how they lost this game. They really don't look that bad. The Rockets box score doesn't look that bad, so I'm gonna have to watch this tomorrow because now I'm intrigued. When do the Grizzlies debut tomorrow? Is that their first game tomorrow? Or did they play oh, no, they played today, correct? Someone tell me. I'm gonna look now too, but I saw because the only reason I know that is because I saw Santi Aldama had, I think, 27 points. Out of all people, it's Santi Aldama with 27 points. Wow. I'm looking at the Grizzlies box score. As a Edie truther and a guy who's really not high on him, looking at this box score makes me happy. Obviously, I want the guy to succeed, but 5 points, 1 for 5 from the line, 2 for 4 from the field. He fouled out in 15 minutes? Bro, what? Someone tell me. I know my boy Gigi was watching it in here, so please let me know how that looked. Because the box score looks horrible for him. Interesting, John Morant only shot 12 shots today. 8 for 9 from the line, I like. 10 assists, 5 boards. D Bane, 24. I like Desmond Bane a lot. 8 for 20. Almost blew it as well. The box score, like Utah's box score, I saw Markkanen had his 35 points. Yeah, 35 and 9. That's a stud. Please find a way to get him out of Utah. Kessler with 16, 14, and 5 blocks. That's another guy I love down there. It's a very interesting starting five. Taylor Hendricks, cool player, but I never thought that he'd be starting. Awesome though. So Laurie's really moved back to a four, is what it looks like. Cody Williams, not really much going on in his debut. Careers coach. Let me go look at the minutes numbers actually. Yeah, 28 minutes for Jaw, 27 for Bane. They really that this felt like kind of a first game of the season. Who deserves minutes? Because they were missing so many players, I guess. Kennard's out, Vince is out, Gigi's out, Jaren's out. So makes sense. They were experimenting with guys like Jalen Wells playing 23 minutes. Jay Huff, who Loki is a stud, played 22 from Pippen Jr. It's an interesting game. Even Patty Mills got minutes for the Jazz. That's awesome. Jenkins, yeah, he played the bench. Hell, please, Gigi, were you watching the game? Because I want to know how Zach Edey fouled out in 15 minutes. That's my big thing. How did Zach Edey have 6 fouls in 15 minutes? If anyone in here has questions about, wants to speak on, hear my opinion on any of the other games, let me know. Been watching a ton of hoops this week. Like I tried to watch as many games today as possible. So during the Sixers game, I was flipping around. I didn't watch the whole game. I kept flipping channels. I don't blame you. I would have done the same thing because they were at the same time as us. You know what game I found really interesting though was the Magic versus Heat game. And I say that more so because from we got all this hype from the media from Spo about how Bam was going to shoot threes, and he really did not seem aggressive from there. He shot two of them, but that was about it. Butler was 1 for 8 too, minus 30. Ugh. The Magic are a really good team. It really pained me to have to put them as low as I did in my prediction. Kelly Ware got some run, which is cool. Hawkes 4 for 9. Duncan. Just a not good shooting game for them. 39 from the field, 32 from three. Judging Twitter line, I did hear people complain about Edie to a degree. What were they saying about Edie though? Because I'm kind of curious what he was getting fouls on, what types of plays. And obviously, the free throw shooting was pretty horrible. I did see with the Magic game when I was watching, Anthony Black in transition is a problem. Paolo's a stud still. Franz is a stud still. Jalen Suggs was weird because he got hurt, I believe. And it's just weird. Cole Anthony's still a shot checker. Never forget. Legend Gary Harris played awesome today. Had 6 threes. about it with that game. The Magic are a really good defensive team. Like, I think the Clippers are a good defensive team. The Magic are on that same level as the Clippers, in my opinion. I saw Cam Thomas was getting bucks today. Grady Dick was getting buckets today too. A game I will be watching tomorrow because I want to see how Lonzo played. I will be watching the Bulls game. I saw that DeJounte broke his hand. I want to see how that happened. But I just want to watch Lonzo. Like Lonzo's one of my guys, one of my favorite players. So I have a Lonzo Lakers jersey, one of the few Laker jerseys I own, up there with Kobe and Kareem. But I want to see how that went. And Giddy had a pretty solid game, 14, 5, and 3. We'll see. Suns versus refs and still won. I don't know. I thought that both ways they were getting terrible calls. I thought the Clippers had some bad calls with Terrence, but I also think Booker got called for some terrible calls too. And I do think like the Harden in the first half was getting no calls, but in the second half they really did lean into the Harden whistle foul baiting. So I think that they kind of evened out in the sense like the Suns got more free throws. The Suns did lose Booker, and that was huge for them. But I do think that the Clippers also got screwed over with some of the calls they got. I just think it was a bad refing performance in general. I see Gigi said Orlando been on my sleeper list. Not gonna lie, give them time to get gel, and they finna be deep. I agree. Their defense is really good. I'm really not high on Cole Anthony, and I think Anthony Black should be taking that spot. Lenny, I would love to hear about as a Suns fan, I would love to hear what you thought of the Clippers because I was watching the Suns today and I really I'm surprised by the fact that Book, for example, Book really just wasn't aggressive today. He kind of bought into that number two role. And that's something as a Book fan I didn't love. But I think Tyus Jones made a huge difference. I think Ogo's gonna by the end of the year, there is no way Plumlee is getting minutes over Ogo. He looked so much better, Ogo did. Even though Plumlee didn't have a terrible game. It's just as I've continued to say, I'm gonna keep saying it. Plumlee and Nurkic are not a threatening interior defensive line to have. And those are two guys us Clipper fans, we watched Plumlee all of last year. The guy is a cone. It's horrible. And Nurkic, on the other hand, yeah, Nurkic is cool. He's physical, but he's one of those guys who he's, in my opinion, just a hack. I do think it's Nurkic just gets away with it because he has a good offensive game. He's a solid rebounder, and he's playing next to KD. But I just don't think Plumlee can sustain this. Like 4 for 6 from the free throw line for Plumlee is something I don't think I've ever seen. I do think the Suns are going to have better days though, because this is a bad Grayson Allen day. This is a bad Ryan Dunn game. He did look like a rookie today. And just Booker's going to be more aggressive as the season goes on. So we'll see with the Suns. Royce O'Neal still being in the league is also hilarious to me and getting paid the amount he is because, yes, he's still a good role player. He's still a good 3-and-D guy, but sometimes I think he looks a little slow. Let me see. What other game did I like today? Bro, Katie's shot making is actually so crazy. Like every time I'm loading ESPN, I'm seeing that just a different KD shot. Anyone watch the Hawks today? See how Ricochet played? I didn't get to see that. I didn't flip through that. I had no interest in either the Hawks or the Nets. So I'm about to box score watch it. But if someone watched that, would love to hear how it was. I literally was just scrolling through Twitter looking at Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas, another one of my guys, another one of my favorite players to watch. So I was scrolling through just Cam Thomas search results on Twitter, seeing a ton of highlights. He is a certified bucket. Ben Simmons, I saw also had a pretty solid game. 6, 5, and 8. But 6 turnovers is a little. Claxton came off the bench. What? When? How? Why? What? I'll look into that later too. So Ricochet, 7 points, 2 for 8 from the field, 1 for 4 from three, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Honestly, not a terrible debut, all things considered. I see Onyeka Kongwu with 28. I love Onyeka too. So the fact that he's healthy, this is huge for them. And I saw Kenny, king of the fourth quarter. Actually, my inspiration to even become a podcaster. Yeah, Jimmy was the opposite of good today. When I was watching that game, he looked horrible. Him and Bam both looked pretty bad. He isn't a regular season guy, but after playing all the preseason games He played all the preseason games. He set looked locked in. He said he was more locked in than ever because it's contract year. I thought we would see a better Jimmy Butler. Back to Dyson Daniels here. He had a pretty good game. 15, 5, 2, 5 steals, a block. And I saw Kenny, King of the fourth quarter, tweeted about how he really is going to be a huge part of this team. Jalen Johnson, 11 and 10, pretty cool. 3 steals. I don't know. I don't find interest in either of these teams. I think they're both. The Nets are going to be the worst team in the NBA, and the Hawks. I don't like. I don't like anyone on their team really. Onyeka is Bam 2.0 for real. SoCal Reyes. I actually got to watch Bam when he was not Bam. Onyeka when he was at Sierra Canyon, which is pretty cool. So I have that little soft spot for him. I don't know. I think he's a better 3-point shooter than Bam. Not as great of a defender, but his time we'll continue to see it. So see. Clippers, I don't like. I was looking at the Warriors game. So one of my best friends, he's a Warriors fan. So he was texting all game, all Clipper game. I was getting updates on the Warriors game as well, and vice versa between the two of us. And I'm really concerned for the Sunday game. I think the Warriors do have the most depth in the NBA. And I was really interested. It was really interesting to me that they started Trace and Draymond Green, basically solidifying that Kayvon Looney has a role regardless. So Curry, like my big takeaway today from the Warriors, just before even looking at the box score, was Curry had an awful shooting game. I know he was 4 for 10. My boy was talking about it. He was 1 rebound away from triple double. The magnitude that Curry draws is insane, especially like I was saying today that the amount of pressure they're putting on Curry to perform now without a true second option. Kuminga has to take a big jump. Pods has to take a big jump. They need something. It's insane, but this like today he showed it. I just pulled up the box score. So 17 points, 3 for 7 from three, 4 for 10, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals. Like they're not great stats, but it really shows the magnitude that he draws. Paul just 0 for 5 today, 7 boards though, 4 assists, 1 steal. Someone let me know if he drew charge. That is what I care about. Moody after getting the fat extension, 5 for 11, 15 points. I like Moody a lot. So Gary Payton even had 8 points today. That's just a defensive plug. But he healed. He went under the radar this offseason because the Klay Thompson move was the bigger thing. But Buddy Hield is one of those guys who I watched a good amount of the Warriors preseason. His defense looked much better. He looked like he cared more on the defensive end. And offensively, he still has a flamethrower. We have the Splash Bros 2.0 out here. 5 for 7 for Buddy Hield today from 3, 8 for 12 from the field. Awesome. I love Buddy Hield. Another, like, there's a lot of these random role players that I love. Buddy Hield, I love because he's the most random one. But when he was drafted that first year he was in 2K, I would kill with him every time I used him. So, Buddy Hield. Wiggins with 20 today. That's pretty cool. Kuminga 3 for 9, 0 for 2 from 3, 4 turnovers. I really am banking on a big Kuminga breakout. Daryl Morey really gave him for a bag of chips. Who are we talking about? He gave? Oh, Buddy Hield. Yeah. Bro, Buddy Hield just wasn't getting minutes on the Sixers last year. It was so weird. And they needed shooting. They needed someone like Buddy Hield. But no, let's not play him. And when I do play him, he's going to go off, and then I'm not going to play him again. Let me look real quickly at the Blazers side. Interesting, Scoot came off the bench, 22 points off the bench, 7 for 18, not 0 for 5 from 3, but that's just not his game. I don't know why he's taking 5 threes. In terms of starters, Kamara starting is pretty cool. I like him, actually. He's a very solid player. 11, 6, 4, 2 steals. Jeremy Grant, 6 for 18. Come on, we need him to raise that trade value. I want him to go play for a contender. Come on now. Avdia, 15. 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That's Denny Avdia for you. Simon's another guy who I would love to see play for a contender. 15 points. That's about it. That's all he does. So anyone in here? I know it's a little over 2. I'm going to go a couple more minutes, but I want to switch back to the Clippers just to end it off. Any thoughts in here on the Clippers? Anyone want to share something they saw because I love the relentlessness. That was something that I do think we're going to keep. I think the defensive IQ is there, but the offensive IQ and the lack of shot creation scares me. They really do scare me because without Kawhi, outside of Norm, we really don't have a shot creator aside from James. And Norm, I hate it. I hate that it's going to come to this, but Norm Powell is going to have to move to the bench when Kawhi comes back because that bench unit is going to need that offensive help. As I said with KPJ earlier and yesterday on the pod, he's just one of those guys who he's going to need time. I think he can be that guy that the Clippers need off the bench, but I don't think we can book on it. Shot selection's bad. His basketball IQ is low, so I would love to see Norm Powell playing off the bench and getting to be aggressive off the bench yet again because we need that spark plug. I do love the lob threats. DJJ is a big time lob threat. Kai Jones. I'm really intrigued with Kai Jones because I think he's been awesome defensively. I think he brings a level of athleticism and energy that we need. But Mo Bamba is this big who, like, obviously one, Ty Lue has a tendency of just not playing young bigs. We can look at Diabate, we can look at all these other bigs, but I think more so it's Mo Bamba kind of fits the role of this Clippers team more. As a catch and shoot guy, he gets blocks, he's athletic still, but I just want to keep giving Kai a shot. Like, come on. Like his energy is contagious. He's a good offensive rebounder, which Mo Bamba is not. And all my Sixers fans that my friends who are Sixers fans, their parents, they all say that Mo Bamba isn't anything special. He gives you one highlight play a game and that's it. He's impossible to watch during that stretch. So, Ty, I beg you, keep Kai Jones in here. But it's going to be really interesting to see if we stray away from Kai Jones for more 3-point shooting that comes with Bamba, maybe more attacking. You give up some of the athleticism and energy for more shot creation, 3-point shooting. Let's see. Anything else I have on this Clippers team? I think again, the Terrence did look a lot better today on the offensive side of the ball than he did last year. That's something that I'm really impressed by. But back KPJ, Chris Dunn's someone I really like. I think he plays like a true point guard. And he's so like I truly can't get behind the fact that he didn't get any minutes in the fourth quarter outside of that last possession. And honestly, I'm gonna say like this is probably my last thing before I go. It's almost 2:15 in the morning here. I have class tomorrow at 9:45, so I need to get some sleep. You can tell I'm exhausted, but Harden, that Harden play at the end, I do think there was a foul. There was a foul on the ground there, but with the Harden play, I just can't. I'm one of those guys who I don't like refs overdoing it at the end of games. So letting that go and just letting him play, that shot was still makeable regardless. Like that's a shot I will take 10 out of 10 times from Harden because I trust he'll make it 8 or 9 times. Yeah, Luca probably will destroy the Clippers again, but I don't think we'll end up facing him in the postseason, which is big. I do, but what I will say, I don't think Luca destroyed us last postseason. Terrence did a great job on Luca. Coffee did a great job on Luca. So that's a guy who, as good as Luca is, I love Luka Doncic. I think he's probably the second best player in the NBA, only behind Jokic. He didn't destroy the Clippers last year. Terrence held him in check, and that was just one of those rare Luka bad series. Some of them were just shots he usually makes not going in, but others, like Terrence just made his life hell. That was the big thing. I don't know. I truly think OKC after seeing Minnesota yesterday, OKC and Dallas are probably the two best teams in the West. I put the Nuggets at 3 in my prediction, but I just don't think the Nuggets are as good as will be as good as they were last year. KCP is a big loss for them. I think that KCP is a big loss for them. I don't like the fits of Russ. I don't like the amount of stress they're putting on these younger guys to improve. Strother, Brown. And I know I'm reiterating, but if anyone's going to do it, Jokic is going to be the guy to pull them to a seed they shouldn't be at and pull these guys into a role, make them look better than they are. I'm excited for this Clipper season. I really cannot wait. Yeah, he doesn't have flashy moves. He's a high-end role player. That's what Terrence is. Terrence, like, obviously, he's underperformed to the extent that Clippers fans thought he was gonna become after that Game 6 39-point game, but to me, at least, he's one of those glue guys that every team needs. He's a high-end role player, he's a Bruce Brown type of player, and you see all these contracts that are being given out to guys like Trey Murphy, and you see Terrence is not that far below him. Trey Murphy is a better basketball player, but by how much is the real question. Terrence's steal, in my opinion, is a steal. I think his defensive energy, how much he loves being a Clipper, is contagious. So that's a guy right here that I think he's going to keep getting better. His confidence looked much better. Just got to give it time. On that note, I'm going to bed down here on the East Coast, but can't wait for this game on Saturday. Then we have Saturday against the Nuggets, Sunday against the Warriors. I'm excited. Harden's got to keep being aggressive. Zoo's got to keep being fed. And defensively, let's keep that identity. Let's keep pushing the pace. Let's keep getting stops. Let's keep getting steals. I don't know, second chance opportunities too. Let's go Clippers. NBA tomorrow. Can't wait to watch the Nuggets. Go Shea tomorrow. Peace.